A company built like a crypto savings account with a validator on the side. Two things can happen to a company that holds a giant pile of Ethereum in its treasury. Either the market treats it like an undervalued bank vault and pushes the share price up, or regulators make the party awkward and the stock gets whacked. Welcome to Bitmine Immersion, ticker Bmnr, the poster child for that bet. The firm now holds millions of ETH and has publicly said it's building validator and staking infrastructure, but its fate may depend a lot more on what happens down Pennsylvania Avenue than on whether it can run validators without tripping a circuit breaker. Bitmine disclosed ETH holdings in the multi-millions of tokens. Press releases in January 2026 reported figures around 4.2 million ETH. Different company filings and press wires cite 4.243 M and 4.203 M at slightly different timestamps. That's a truly enormous holding for a public company. Those ETH holdings, depending on the ETH price used, were reported to represent $12 to $14+ billion of crypto plus additional cash. Numbers that make Bitmine's public equity valuation look unusual next to its treasury on paper. Market capitalization for Bmnr has been in the multi-billion-dollar neighborhood. Sources report figures in the roughly $11 to $13 billion range as of late January 2026, meaning publicly traded Bmnr has sometimes traded at a discount or premium, depending on timing, to its crypto and cash assets. Why analysts say the Clarity Act matters for Bmnr. The Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, often shortened to the Clarity Act, is a piece of legislation introduced in the 119th Congress designed to clarify how digital assets like Ethereum are classified for regulatory oversight, in particular the relationship between the SEC and the CFTC and whether certain tokens are treated as commodities or securities. For a company whose balance sheet is stuffed with ETH, that's not a technicality, it's a macroeconomic lever. If Congress passes language that more clearly designates ETH as a digital commodity or otherwise reduces enforcement risk, large institutions could move back into the asset with fewer legal worries. That would, in theory, raise ETH's price and decrease the regulatory discount applied to companies holding it. Conversely, ambiguous or restrictive rules could keep institutional capital sidelined and keep a lid on ETH and ETH-heavy treasuries. Simple logic, big implications. Think of Bmnr like a high-stakes orchard owner who planted thousands of apple trees, ETH. If the county government finally says, apples are not contraband and you can sell them in the market, buyers will appear, prices rise, and the orchard becomes gold. But if the county keeps arguing whether apples are apples or something else, big buyers stay away and the orchard is worth less than the value of the trees on paper. That's the Clarity Act story in one orchardish sentence. By the way, if you are getting value from this video so far and want more like this, please like the video, it means much to us, and hit the subscribe button, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. What Bmnr actually holds, and why the math looks strange. Bitmine's press releases in January 2026 list ETH token holdings in the 4.2 M range and total crypto plus cash holdings in the low to mid double-digit billions of dollars, depending on the ETH spot price used on the disclosure date. Put simply, at recent ETH prices those token positions represent a sum comparable to, or even larger than, Bmnr's public equity market cap at times. That's the reason analysts talk about a discount to asset value, or a potential NAV, net asset value re-rating, if regulatory clarity or market sentiment improves. But there are two important practical caveats. 1. Crypto on the balance sheet is volatile. 2. Not all holdings are immediately realizable at quoted prices without moving markets or incurring taxes/fees. So what is the Clarity Act and where does it stand? The Clarity Act, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025, aims to draw lines around what is a commodity and what is a security in the digital asset space, and it would assign primary oversight roles between the SEC and CFTC. The bill text and legislative activity are public on congress.gov. The substance matters because investors, exchanges, banks, and asset managers have been waiting for a legal map that reduces the which regulator uncertainty that has chilled institutional participation. Put another way, the bill doesn't directly put money into Bmnr, but it could meaningfully change the pool of buyers and custodial options for ETH, which affects price and investor appetite for on-balance sheet ETH holders. Important reality check. Legislation moves slowly. There are competing versions, Senate considerations, and political headwinds. Some recent reporting suggests the bill's path has bumps and might even be unstable in the near term, which is exactly the kind of legislative uncertainty that makes an ETH treasury harder to value with confidence. I'll unpack likely scenarios below. Why staking and validators matter for Bmnr's story. Yield on idle assets. Staking converts idle ETH into a stream of staking rewards, which can meaningfully boost revenue run rate if executed at scale. Business model diversification. Moving from pure NAV play into operational income can make Bmnr more than just a crypto ETF masquerading as a company, but it also exposes shareholders to operations, personnel, power costs, and hardware risks. Sovereignty and custody. Running validators can make Bmnr an attractive vendor for enterprises or sovereigns that want on-chain participation without running their own nodes, a potential growth path if they can build trusted infrastructure. The upside scenario: how the Clarity Act lifts Bmnr. If Congress passes a market-friendly Clarity Act that clarifies ETH as a commodity and removes key custody/registration obstacles, several effects could unfold. Institutional buyers return to ETH with fewer legal hurdles, pension funds, banks, asset managers, increasing demand and price. Custodial and prime brokerage products for institutions become cheaper/available, reducing execution friction for both BTC and ETH. Bmnr's NAV discount could narrow as an asset-heavy company becomes more straightforward to value. Institutional demand for publicly traded ETH treasury names could surge. With a higher ETH price and more deployable custody options, Bmnr could both grow its treasury value and profitably monetize staking/validator services. In short, a clean regulatory outcome is an accelerant and could produce a narrative re-rating of Bmnr shares relative to the ETH they hold, which could with time hit to $9,000. Note this as well. God tells us in Daniel 7 verses 25 to 27 that, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him." Want more information about the books of prophecy? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: "I stayed until the end." Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe, and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage us to continue bringing to you more insightful videos. Do not miss out on our future videos. All I am asking is your subscription. Thank you for joining me today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's love.